Imagine a character in your artwork wrinkling their nose, squinting their eyes, and curling their lips in revulsion. These are all common traits of disgust, and by effectively capturing these elements, your depiction of the emotion becomes much more believable. With practice, you can infuse your artwork with this impactful emotion. So let's dive right in. Begin by sketching a basic facial structure. This is your canvas, this foundation upon which you'll build the expression. I usually start with an oval for the head or a circle for the cranium, and then I add a wedge for the jaw later. Two lines for the neck and a simple outline for the shoulders. These initial lines are just guides, not final results. Keep them light so you can adjust and refine them later. Next, mark the facial guidelines. If you are struggling with face proportions, I understand, and I actually have videos that can help you with that linked in the description. When someone is disgusted, their eyes narrow and the eyebrows furrow, forming a kind of V shape, a lot like expressing anger. Draw the upper eyelids lower than usual and the lower eyelids slightly raised. This gives the impression of squinting. For the eyebrows, sketch them curved downwards towards the center of the face. Moving on to the nose, it's not the most expressive part of the face, I'll admit that, but it can contribute to the overall emotion. In disgust, the nose might wrinkle slightly. To depict this, draw a few lines at the bridge of the nose. After sketching the basic expressions, it's time to refine and add detail. Erase your sketch softly so it looks faded. Go over your sketch, this time pressing harder to create darker lines. Smooth out any rough lines and add details like the pupils and the eyes, the nostrils, the teeth. Lastly, let's add some finishing touches, perhaps some sweat drops on the forehead or maybe even a vein popping out of the temple to show the intensity of the disgust. And voila, you have created a disgusted expression. But remember, this is just one way to depict disgust. There are many variations, and each face will express it differently. The key is to observe, practice, and experiment. That's it. You've just drawn a disgusted face. All right, so remember the eyebrows are lower, pointed down towards the center. A wrinkled nose and a grimacing mouth are classic hallmarks of disgust. Don't forget to incorporate some body language as well for your characters. A slight turn of the head or a raised shoulder can amplify the emotion we're trying to portray. It's all about the details. The subtle furrow of the brow, the tightening of the eyelids, the crinkling at the edge of the nose, and the curl of the lip. These minute details breathe life into your artwork and make the emotion of disgust palatable. By following these steps, you can successfully convey disgust in your artwork. All right, here are some additional tips to perfect your disgusted faces. For one, observing real life expressions is invaluable. Watch people, animals, and even cartoons and take notes of how disgust is portrayed. Is the nose wrinkled? A raised eyebrow, narrowed eyes. Observe how the shadows form around furrowed brows or curled lips. Incorporate these details that you observe to make your expressions more realistic and hence more compelling. To help make the eyes look squinted, you can draw the lower part with a curved angle for more expressive disgust. Also, the size of your mouth will convey how disgusted someone feels. If you decide to add the drops of sweat for added disgust, you keep the sweat simple. I use fishhooks or U shapes for the sweat. And for extreme disgust, make the tongue stick out. Another thing you could do is you could perhaps draw a hand raise as if to ward off an offending stench. Play around, tweak here and there, and discover what works best for you. Keep these tips in mind as you continue your practice. Now, if you're facing some issues, don't worry, it's part of the process. If you are struggling with proportions, practicing basic geometric shapes can help. A face isn't just a circle or an oval, it's actually a blend of circles, squares, and triangles. So once you get comfortable drawing these shapes in 3D, you'll find your proportions improving. Also, a rite of passage with drawing faces is you need to make sure you memorize the ideal face locations. That way, when you are breaking the standard, you have a good reason for it. And again, there's a link in the description for videos that will help you understand proportions better. I encourage you to check that out. Symmetry giving you a tough time? Try this. Draw a light line down the middle of your page before you start sketching. It will serve a guide to help balance the left and right side of your face. And don't forget, it's okay for faces to be slightly asymmetrical. It adds character. If you're finding it hard to convey the emotion of disgust, it's time to observe and practice. Look at reference images, mirror expressions of yourself, feel the emotion, rewatch this video, do what it takes. It's all about understanding and translating these feelings onto paper. Remember, every challenge is a stepping stone to improvement. We have our final result, a face that clearly screams disgust. The squinted eyes, the wrinkled nose, and the downturned mouth, all these elements work together to create the perfect disgusted expression. Look at the disgusted face. You've done it. And with practice, it'll only get better. Now, don't stop there. Fill up pages of drawing disgusted people from reference and imagination as best as you can. Don't let any initial uncertainties hold you back. The technique we've discussed today are here to guide you. Feel the emotion, let it flow through your pencil and spill onto your paper. Remember, every stroke you make contributes to your growth as an artist. So sketch with confidence and don't shy away from sharing your work. Your art has the power to inspire and move others, and feedback from fellow artists can only enhance your skills. And while you're at it, why not delve deeper into the world of expressive art? There's a wealth of knowledge waiting for you in my other videos on my channel. From mastering different facial expressions to mastering poses anatomy, the journey of an artist is a never-ending learning curve. Keep practicing, keep experimenting, and keep creating. Watch this next video for even more art tips.